Hi everybody. As you can see, this video is called 5 Ways in Which You Can Stand with Standing Rock by Making Changes in Your Own Life. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Standing Rock Reservation out there in North Dakota, you've either been living under a rock, hanging out in the woods, or you just get all your news from major news sources. But there's a historic gathering of tribes from all over the world, all over North America, out at the Cannonball River and Missouri River in North Dakota. The Dakota Access Pipeline, a company, an energy and oil company from Texas, has been pushing through this pipeline, and they're basically encroaching upon Native American reservation lands and threatening the health of the Missouri River. They're going to put a pipeline right underneath the Missouri River. These pipelines break all the time. Every few weeks there's a leak. They never get reported. If they do get reported, they're not reported to the public. There's a lot of corruption, and it's just not the right thing for our world right now. And so, first of all, I want to voice my support for those water protectors out there at Standing Rock, fighting this pipeline and standing up for water, for the earth, for the future of humanity. Literally the future of humanity. We need clean water in order to drink, to live, to grow, and for our children and their children's children to live. So there's lots of ways in which you could support them at the camp. You can donate to their legal defense fund, or just their camp fund for supplies. They're helping to build their winter camp right now. You can buy shirts like this one. There's a few different designs out there. That way you can donate some money. Like 80% of the profits goes to the camp directly. It's also a good way to, kind of spark up conversation when you're out in public and show public support, and inform people about what's going on there. Of course, you can always share on social media. I think this is very effective with the way that mainstream media has not been covering this or been falsely covering this. We just need to share as much information as possible. The great thing is there's hundreds of people out there. They've all got cell phone cameras. They're all recording this. They can't hide the truth anymore about what's really going on in the world, in this situation and many others. So I think it's really powerful to be able to do that. Another way you can do help support Standing Rock is to show up. They're put out a call for people to come out and join the action and stand up for what's right and help stop this pipeline. You can go out to sacredstonecamp.org to find out more. That's their official website. They've got lots of info about different ways in which you can help. I know a lot of people, if you're like me, really would like to go out there, but it's just not in the cards for you to go out and support directly. It doesn't mean you can't still make a huge difference in the world. It's not just about stopping this one pipeline or other pipelines like it. It's about stopping the entire machinery behind this pipeline, the oil economy, the oil energy infrastructure. We need to shift away from this in order to, first off, prevent all the damage that is happening every single day from the use of this dirty energy, and furthermore move into a better world, move into a world that we know is possible. So it's not just about stopping one pipeline, it's about stopping the oil economy and moving towards an ecological economy. And the only way this is going to happen is through us. We're going to build a better world. It's not going to be the governments and the corporation. They don't have the interest to do that. Their interest is making money. If we want a better world, it's up to us. So I've come up with 5 examples of what you can do in your own life to make a big impact in changing the world for the better, to move away from the oil economy and towards an ecologically economy, an ecologically sane world. So the first thing you can do to stand with the water protectors at Standing Rock and help move us towards a better world is to reduce your consumption of energy and oil. This is a big one. The idea that we're going to be able to create an ecological utopia without reducing the massive amount of consumption that we currently all participate in, that's a fallacy. Sorry, but it doesn't mean that we need to go back to living in the Stone Ages, but we just need to be a little more conscious about how we use energy. One of the biggest users of energy in the modern world is heating and cooling. A lot of people use oil directly to heat their homes or electric heat. The thing about that is, even if you're using electric heat to heat your home, at the end of that wire could be a coal-fired power plant or natural gas or nuclear. There's something ugly at the end of that light switch and that electrical meter. So using less and less of that is going to use less and less oil, less and less energy as well. One of the best ways you can do this, if it's appropriate for your situation, such as if you're living in colder climates, is you use a rocket mass heater. This is some technology that I've seen a lot of at Wheaton Labs, or live in Montana, that Paul Wheaton and the rest of the rocket mass heater innovators have been doing a lot of work to promote and optimize for massive use. These are heaters that run off wood, which is truly a renewable resource when it's done right. We're not clear cutting, and they are super efficient. You can use up to 90% less wood than you would with a normal wood stove, and without all the soot and smoke pollution that comes from the wood stoves, because the rocket mass heater burns up all that. Basically what comes out of the exhaust is CO2 and water vapor. So if you want more information on that, there's plenty of that up at Permies.com and richsoil.com. Lots of good information coming out about those. Another addendum to that is, natural building and energy efficient homes. The design of our homes in the world today is very energy inefficient, and there's ways that we can work with the natural patterns of sun and wind and light and the seasons to heat and cool our homes naturally without using excess energy. Now, you have to be careful about this because you need to do an energy audit. Is it going to take more energy overall to build a whole new home that is energy efficient than it would to just live in the home that you have? You have to look at those factors. There's ways of adjusting existing homes and adapting them or retrofitting them to be more energy efficient. Lots of information on this out there. Another way to use less energy and oil is to work closer to home or live closer to work. If you're traveling, miles and miles every single day just to go to work and make your living, that's not a good situation. It's not a good situation for you. You're sitting in traffic all day, and it's not a good situation for the earth. You find some way to make your living closer to home, or find somewhere to live that's closer to your work if you really like your job. Just cutting 10 minutes of your commute every day over the long run is going to save you a bunch of money and conserve a lot of energy and oil in the process. As well as that, another thing you can do is buy less stuff and consume less. Basically, everything has oil behind it. Every single product in the store was shipped to that store on the back of a diesel truck. That thing you bought for $2, it might say $2, but that doesn't include the ecological cost behind it. It probably could have come from China on a giant container ship, which is burning oil. Everything is moving on oil, so the less that we consume, the less we have to move things around, the less oil we use. If we want these oil companies, these evil corporations, as we're calling them, to go away, we got to stop consuming their product. It's as simple as that. So, on that note, the second thing you can do to help stand in a standing rock and move towards a better world is grow some of your own food, or forage for wild foods, and/or agriculture is one of the largest consumers of petroleum products. Chemical agriculture, which is the main form of agriculture on the planet right now, is basically based upon petroleum products. Fertilizers, diesel fuel for running all the combines, oil-based pesticides, and herbicides. The more we buy that, the more we're supporting the oil economy. So if we can grow some of our food at home, we're taking a big bite out of that. Not only that, we got much healthier food, much tastier food. We can walk right outside our door and pick fresh vegetables instead of having those vegetables shipped to us from across the country or across the globe. Apples from Chile, not really the most ecologically sound thing. Even organic food has to be shipped to the store in the back of a truck, and some organic practices are just about as damaging to the earth as chemical agriculture, sadly. So growing it in your own backyard makes a huge difference. I think this is one of the biggest things you can do to help shift to a better world. Basically, we need to move from an agricultural civilization more towards a horticultural civilization. What that means is that instead of all of our food being grown in the countryside and then shipped to the cities to feed us, we need to grow it right in our backyards, in our gardens. That's horticulture as opposed to agriculture. Gardens are much more efficient use of space and energy and water and everything. And through permaculture, which is what I've been teaching through a lot of these videos, and I've been very much passionate about, we can design our gardens and our living situations, our whole life basically, to use less energy and support itself, fertilize itself, make really good use of water and energy. So third thing you can do to help stand with Standing Rock and move towards a better world is get your information and news from multiple sources. Don't just watch the TV news. Don't just get it from your friends on Facebook. You need multiple sources. One of the principles of permaculture design is that each function must be supported by multiple elements, and this makes your system stronger. So say if you need to harvest water for your home, for your own use, you're not just going to have a well. You might have rainwater catchment too. You might have a dam. You might be hooked up to the grid as a backup. Each function, that function of water, is going to be served by many different elements, and that makes a strong system. It's the same with information. If we get our information from one source, basically that source decides what is truth, and that's what's happening in our country, has been for a while. Mainstream media has not been reporting on Standing Rock, or they've been reporting falsely, and this happens with many other issues, many other issues. And so going on the internet is an amazing thing. You can go online, many different good news websites out there that are reporting right from the ground, reporting what's really happening. And as always, with whatever source you're using, you need to think critically about it. What's their agenda? Because everybody's got an agenda. And what's their bias? Where are they coming from? Who supports them? What truth are they trying to purvey? And so then you can gather all that information and find your own truth based on that. So the fourth way I've got that you can stand with Standing Rock and help move towards a better world is to stand up in your own community. This isn't the only fight out there. This isn't the only action. The oil economy is everywhere. Ecological destruction is everywhere. There's something happening right outside your door that needs to be stopped, that needs to be changed, and that's where your fight is, right there. Go out into your community, meet people, create that community. It doesn't just happen. You have to go out and actively make it happen. Meet with your neighbors. Meet with the people in your community. Even if you seem to be coming from far different sides of the spectrum, red and blue and liberal and conservative, I'm sure there's some issues that you guys agree upon, such as you want clean water, you want a stable economy, you want good food. These are the type of things that we can all agree on, and we can stand up when there's somebody trying to hurt that. I mean, it's easy to get pretty discouraged with the political landscape in our country right now, but the biggest difference you can make is on the local level. You can vote out a mayor. You can vote in good council people into your local office. You can work with your cities and gather support from the community to, say, make more reasonable building codes so people can use natural building, or can retrofit their house to be passive solar, or can put a rocket mass heater in their house. Do this type of work in your own community. It's like I said before, it's not going to be the government. It's not going to be a top-down thing. It's going to be a bottom-up thing. So it starts with us. We got to work in our own backyards to build this better world. And with that, you got to use your voice. You got to be brave. You got to go talk to people. You got to stand up for what you know is right. It's not the time to be quiet anymore. We got to do this now. So, whatever your mission might be, for me it's teaching permaculture. For you, it might be preserving the forest behind your house. Whatever your mission is, go for it, don't hold back. And so the final thing I've got to help stand with Standing Rock and build a better world And I think, this is a really big one. It might make some people uncomfortable, but I think this is one of the biggest things that we can do to protect our water on the world right now, and that is switching to a composting toilet. For one, the water coming to your house, every single drop coming out of your tap has an electric pump behind it, sometimes a diesel pump. And at the end of electricity is oil. It takes energy to get that water to your house, so every time you flush the toilet, you're basically flushing energy down the drain. And on that note, if water is sacred, why are we polluting it every day in our own homes? The way that our bathroom's designed is just insane, in my opinion. Yes, it's convenient and it's normal in our society, but really it's pretty insane, and we need to shift to something else, and that's composting toilet. Really, our bodies are part of the natural world. The products of our body are part of the natural world. Our urine is a perfect fertilizer for plants, so go pee on your garden, go pee on your trees. There's a reason it feels so natural. That is going to make your plants bigger. It's going to make them grow better. It's naturally balanced to be a fertilizer, just like every other animal on the earth. Our bodies are soil factories. That's what comes out of us. We intake plant matter, animal matter, and we turn it almost directly right into soil. It's part of the natural cycle that we've separated ourselves from, and we need to bring ourselves back into that. We're turning these amazing resources that we produce, just like every animal, we're taking those and we're turning them into pollution by mixing them with water. We shouldn't be mixing our waste with water. It's insane. There's lots of different options out there. There's the Human Manure Handbook is the one that has started many people off on this. That's just a simple bucket method. It goes from something as simple as that all the way up to like expensive automated systems you can install right in your home. And this makes a huge difference. That's, every time you flush your toilet, that's another gallon of water you're polluting. That's another gallon of water that's got to be pumped to your house. And, I used to work in sewer maintenance. I did that for 5 years of my life at a water district. So I saw the whole infrastructure behind how water comes to your house and how sewage gets taken away and treated. And first of all, there's an army of diesel trucks driving around every day just to keep that system going, and it's falling apart. And we had spills all the time. There was sewage, raw sewage, that went directly into the creeks and polluted those creeks. And that was a normal occurrence. We did everything we could to try to stop it, but I'm telling you, it happens every single day. So we need to stop making that sewage in the first place. It goes to the treatment plant. You think it gets all cleaned up. You wouldn't drink the water that comes out of that treatment plant. Yet, that water is going right back into the river or the ground or the ocean. It's going right back into our waterways, where the next town downstream is going to get their water from. This is a really big issue in our world, and so I think the biggest thing we can do to change from that is change the way that we deal with our own bodily waste, take responsibility for our own lives. And this goes back to working in your own communities to help change the laws so that it's legal to do these things. Put composting toilets in your house. You can still do it anyway. That's another big part of it, is civil disobedience. If these laws are promoting insanity, promoting destruction, we just gotta disobey them. That's how it goes. But we gotta do it in a way that is smart and ecologically sound and not destructive. So do your research. There's lots of information online about these and other options. Permaculture design is full of different techniques for living naturally with the world, using biological systems before technological systems to deal with the things that we need, like food, water, shelter, disposal of our waste. And another thing that comes from permaculture design is the idea that problems are actually solutions. We got a lot of problems out here in the world today, a lot of ecological destruction, a lot of challenges, but really what I see as those are opportunities for us to make a huge difference. There's so many opportunities for small businesses out there built around helping people help the earth. Somebody could go and collect waste from a composting toilet system that somebody else doesn't want to deal with it, go and compost it and sell it again as really good rich fertilizer for farmers or orchards. This is actually how it used to be done before we had flushing water toilets. there's all kinds of small businesses that can be built around helping people help the earth, like I said before. That's how we're going to change the world, in my opinion. If we can make our own careers, we can make our own jobs based around healing the earth, we're going to build a better world by default while we're supporting ourselves, while we're living a good and happy life. And so I think that's really the bigger picture. We gotta stand up in these fights right now. We gotta say no to the oil economy. We gotta say no to people who are not respecting the earth as our mother, the one who provides everything for us. Whether you're spiritual or religious or not, you can't deny that everything we need comes from the earth. And so we got to say no to these things, but we also have to say yes to better options. We have to say yes to standing up and doing us right, and doing what might not be convenient right now, but in the long run is going to lead to a better world for us all, and for our children, and for our children's 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 children. So thank you for watching. I hope some of this information has helped you. If you got any questions, as always, you can ask me, comment on the section below. Subscribe to the videos, and thanks for watching.